Welcome any and all viewers. Thank you for checking out my channel. Today we're going to be continuing with some Gran Turismo 7 licensing. In a previous video I did the National B licenses, got all gold on those, and today we're going to be doing the National A with an attempt to get all gold on those as well. I have done these licenses before on another account before I decided to do a video series, so start over, new account. So these are all fresh licenses. Hopefully, as I go through these, I do not claim to be an expert professional driver. If you want that, you need to go check out Tidney's channel, Super GT's channel, The Key. There's several guys out there who are really good, top tier Gran Turismo players. So if you're looking for professional, the epitome of sim racing, go check those guys out. I'm doing this for fun. I think I'm an okay driver, so maybe you can learn something from a normal guy like me. In Tsukuba here, this corner here, it's just a long right-hander, pretty straightforward. You don't need to brake. Normally, all you gotta do is just kind of get into the corner, off the gas, let the car roll. As long as you don't have too much speed going into the corner, you can just roll through the corner, and as soon as you get about 3/4 of the way around, into the gas, and through the finish. So gold in the first one, that's a good start. On the second one, this is the Dragonshell Gardens. This is a double left-hander that you are going to want to diamond this corner. And I have no idea how I did this one now. Hopefully, I hit my braking point. And the key is you're going to, brake hard, then turn in to the first corner, the first apex. You're not going to try to like hug the corner here. You're going to want to hit the first apex. The car is going to drift out away from the corner. You'll do a late turn back across into the second apex and really try to straighten out that second one for a run off and then down the straight. So up here, hitting right about the orange barrier there, just past it. Well, that was a little late in the first corner, but coming across the second apex, full throttle. Again, a pretty easy, pretty straightforward double corner for 2 golds in a row. I'll take that. 2 for 2 to start out. Not bad. As you can see there, my other account there, I had done this before and I did beat it, so that's nice. It's good to see. Maybe I'm getting better. Jury's out on that. Alright, test 3 at Monza in an Abarth 500. Just a rocket ship of a car. No idea how this thing handles though. It's obviously not going to be fast. Apologize for the loading speeds. I am on a regular PlayStation 4. I'm not all fancy, not bougie like with the PS5. So just have to bear with me. Alright, so these are consecutive, well, not really consecutive. They're consecutive, I guess. Right-handers at Monza. The first corner is a much higher speed corner. Try to carry as much speed through here as possible. Set up for the second. I really just tiptoed into this first corner. Not nearly enough speed. Just trying to get a feel for it. Down into the second. Braking about the 50 board marker. Way too late in that corner. But, not terrible. What am I going to be? Yeah, second off. I mean, that's not good. Not gonna lie, it's not great. But first attempt. Let's just gotta improve. So this first corner you can almost do flat out, I think. Really just try to carry as much speed as possible. Try to stay off the brake. Accelerate as soon as possible. Down this little mini stretch. Braking just past the 50 board. Again, missed the corner again. Really missed it. Drifted way too wide. attempt number 3. That's a much better corner. A lot more speed through there. That's just about right. And again, just past the 50-meter board, onto the brake, turn in hard, clip the apex. That was a pretty good attempt there. Might still be a little bit slow. Yeah, a little slow. We're getting there. So even though this little A-Barth is not super fast, I'm being pretty conservative with it. The handle's actually pretty good though, surprisingly. These little cars really want to drip like that right there. A little understeery, but that's kind of like the whole theme of Gran Turismo 7. There is a across the board understeer issue. See, that was a much better corner. I overran the corner, but it was better. I got in, I did a little later turn in to try to straighten out the corner a little bit, carry a little more speed. I just overdid it. Trying to see if I can go flat out, and I do not think it's possible. Anyway, for me, I had to lift a little bit in that corner, but I did good exit speed there, and some fun frame rate issues there. That was good. Much better pair of corners there. Bringing home the gold. 3 for 3. Moving on to license 4. I actually tried to record this live, but my audio got messed up. So the video is live. There's no edits in the video itself. But the audio is actually a voiceover, so. Tokyo, this track, or this specific license test on my other account, it was a challenge for me. I really struggled getting into, these like the tunnel turns, there's 2 right-handers. You really need to be able to carry speed, because this car does not accelerate well. It's a fairly slow car, so really need to maximize carrying speed through the corners. So you do not want to brake. Well, I shouldn't say you need to brake, but you don't want to brake a lot. You want to be able to carry your momentum through these corners. So previously, I tried to downshift to 3rd gear going into this first corner, and I was just losing so much time. You see there, I kind of a little too much speed in there. I didn't quite slow it up enough. Drifted too far out into the wall, which is why I hate Tokyo. I beat these walls up when I race here. But I discovered on my other account, on this license, it's better to stay in 4th gear. You just want to get into the brakes, get off the brakes, let it roll through. Really try to keep your momentum up in that first corner. The second corner, it's really flat out or nearly flat out, because you really have to carry the speed down through this tunnel to the finish line. And of course here I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at my time and not looking at the track, and I ran into the wall. So don't do that. Lesson 1, don't hit walls. So we try it again here. Again, I found it best not to shift down to 3rd. Really just let the car roll through the corner, try to keep her momentum up. Again, a little too greedy. I tried to carry a little too much speed into that first corner. The first corner is not as critical as the second corner. So really, this corner just needs to be smooth. Try to keep, need to keep the speed up, but it's really about being smooth, getting around this corner, and then getting into the second corner where it is critical. You really need to try to maximize your speed through here. Go flat out if you can, which I did on that one. I believe I didn't notice hitting the brakes or letting off there, but then for some reason, coming into the tunnel, I let off on that corner. Didn't need to, and another frame rate issue. I'm not sure what's going on there. But yeah, I did not need to lift there. That is definitely flat out. And that's where you're gonna either make or break the gold on this one. First corner, obviously important. Maintain your speed through here. quick onto the brake, back off, roll through the corner, on the gas as quickly as possible. The second corner, if you really utilize the turn in, you can go flat out all the way through to the finish line. Try to keep it nice and smooth. And there it is. It's not a super complicated one. It's really getting that first corner right without hitting the wall, and then really utilizing the turn in on that second corner to be able to go flat out and maintain your speed. And that is gold on that one. Moving on. Next test. Little spot in the wet. And really, it's not that, this, if I remember right, this one is not that wet, really. On my other account, I've got golds on all the licenses except for S10, which is Spa in the wet. I don't remember what car it is. It's one of the older race cars. I think it's a Nissan. I don't know. It's like a blue. It's a blue Nissan race car. I don't remember which one it is. But that one's it's a full lap at Spa in the wet, and I have struggled. I'll probably run it 50 times, and I've got silver on it, but no gold. And I've watched other people do it. I've watched videos, and they make it look so easy. Oh, you just gotta stay on the dry line. Well, easier said than done, at least for me. But anyway, this one's not too bad. It's not super wet, and it's not a super fast car either. So, as always, braking is critical for speed. Braking as late as possible. I hit the brakes a little too early on this one. A little conservative. Wasn't really sure how much grip I had, so hit the brakes a little late. Got real tail happy, real loose in these corners. That last corner and this corner did not really carry much speed. So, but only 1/10 off. That's not too bad for braking way too early and spinning the tires on exit. So let's attempt here. Again, you're going to try to brake as late as possible. I think this time I hit the brakes like right between the 50 and 100 meter board. Probably a little bit early still. You could probably do the 50 meter board. But just kind of keeping it smooth. Just feathering that throttle through these corners. Try to keep speed up without spinning out. And there we go. That should do it. Yeah. Keeping the gold streak alive. Not too many difficulties yet. These are all, the National A, National B licenses. They're really beginner license. You're learning. It's learning car control. So they're not so much tests as they are training. All right, back to Monza. This is a pretty these series of corners here, it's not super technical. It is more of a maintaining your speed, getting into this first left-hander to set yourself up for the longer right-hander, to have as much speed as possible coming out of that right-hander so you can cut across the left-hander and down the straightaway. So again, kind of like the race in Tokyo there, you want to maximize your carry as much speed as possible through the corners. You don't want to overbrake. You don't want to have to slow down too much in the corners and sacrifice that speed. So I think on this one, I tried to use my original brake marker, which is just past that little concrete access road on the right, but it was a little too early. Lost a little too much speed. Really kind of tiptoeing again through these corners. Just trying to get a feel for the car, how it turns. It's pretty stable, so that's a little over 6/10 off gold there, but really was a conservative effort. So we're going to try to brake a little later here. Maybe right in the shadows on the wall there on the right side. That's a pretty good brake point, looks like. really kind of late in that corner there, that longer right-hander. So I really did not carry as much speed through there. But still, you know, right there, right 4, 100s off gold there. So we should really get it pretty easy. Again, brake as late as possible. Brake first, then turn in. Wow, it's a little deep on that first corner, but I think I carried a lot of good speed through the longer right-hander, which I was able to carry a lot of speed through that left-hander, and that paid off. So I feel pretty good about that one. A little over half a second under the gold time, so that's good. And beat my previous record on my other account, so also good to see. Which would make sense as well, since I've already done this test before. You know, got some experience on them, so they should be easier naturally. Alright, test A7. This is in Barcelona. I think it's the first 3 corners in Barcelona. I would say the first corner, coming down the long stretch, it's really not as critical as the third corner. The third corner, it's a long right-hander. That is really where you're going to either make or break a lot of your time. Corner 1 is just a pretty hard right-hander, which goes immediately into a left-hander. It's pretty low speed. You're really not going to make or break a whole lot of time there unless you really blow the corners, which I think I do on this one, on my first attempt. But those first 3 corners, you just want to get the car slowed down through the corners, hitting the apexes. But that third long right-hander, that one's critical. So you need to keep as much speed as possible through there. I think I blow this first corner. Yeah, completely blew through it. Hit the brakes way too late. But the first 3 corners are, they're pretty straightforward, pretty standard. Right, left. You just want to get it, find yourself a good braking point, get it slowed down, get through the first corner. You can really cut a lot on this second corner. Then as you get set up for this third one, the long right-hander, you really need to try to keep your throttle up. I'm drifting it a little bit there. A little too much throttle probably. I drifted a little bit too wide, but yeah, keep a nice balanced throttle, keep the speed up, and that's really where you're going to make up your time if you can get through that third right-hander as quickly as possible. So good result. It was kind of messy, as you can tell. Those first 2 corners, I really screwed up those first 2 corners, but I did keep pretty good speed through that long right-hander, and that's what gave me the gold. All right, into 8. This is a dirt track with the Toyota Tundra. Since I did this on my other account, they had a glitch or an error in Gran Turismo 7 on these licenses. On the dirt tracks, the cars were all equipped with street tires, like the Comfort mediums or whatever. They're regular street radial tires. And you're trying to do license tests on these dirt tracks, and you're just sliding everywhere. It was very difficult to, get gold on several of these license tests. But I was able to on my other account. I was able to get gold on this one because it is pretty short. The truck's pretty slow. So even though did a lot of sliding and had no grip on the street tires, still able to get gold. They've since fixed that, and as you can see now in the bottom left there, I do have dirt tires equipped. I'm still making a mess of this by sliding everywhere, but it is much easier doing these licenses with dirt tires. So if you're just now doing these tests, you should have a much easier time of it. So what I'm going to try to do here is not drift as much. With this truck, it's pretty slow. You're going to lose a lot of time if you're sliding. So you want to try to keep it as straight and going forward as much as possible, and not laterally like I'm doing on this attempt. Really sliding around, really losing a lot of speed. So not the way to do it. I think on my third attempt here, I get the gold, and I just really make an attempt to keep the truck straight, not slide so much, really kind of cut down the corner as much as possible without going too wide. So I'm really trying to, cut really close to the fence as possible. Much straighter lines through here, much higher, well, I shouldn't say much higher speed, but higher speed. And that gets the job done there. So yeah, key to there. And I'm not a great dirt track driver. I struggle more than anything with the dirt tracks. It just doesn't come natural to me. But that's kind of the key there. A lot of time you do want to slide, especially with some of the faster cars. Learning that drifting technique, sliding around corners, it's faster. But for this one, the truck, since it's so slow, you really want to try to minimize the drifting and just try to keep it straight. So this next test is a pretty tricky one at Suzuka, and it's an NSX, which is an awful handling car. This little hairpin at Suzuka is tough. Most people get this corner wrong, and it can really cost a lot of time. Usually the biggest problem is braking too late, just carrying way too much speed into the corner and not hitting the apex. And you'll see me do that, of course, just for demonstration purposes only, of course. I miss the corner. I come in way too hot several times, and it takes me a couple tries to get my braking point down, really get turned in, hit that apex. But this first little right-hand corner, this first little right-hander, you can go, it's full throttle through here. You really want to get under the brakes. Wow, more frame rate issues. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, it's almost as soon as you come out of this first right-hander, you're on the brakes. You got to brake pretty early to hit this. And I think I do it. It's like my fourth try. I hit it. Again, a little late. I'm trying to get in there a little too hot, and it doesn't quite work out. But because it is so slow, it is really critical to get slowed down, hit that apex tight as possible, so you can accelerate out. I'm not sure if it was this one or the next attempt, but yeah, full throttle through this, right flat out, on the brakes hard. Yeah, still a little too deep, but incremental improvements. Every try, I'm getting a little closer. I'm still 2.5 tenths off gold, but I think I get it on this next one. You can really, you'll be able to tell when you see it. It's like when you actually hit this apex right, or I should say right, because I'm sure there's room for improvement, of course. But when you hit this apex good, like right here, really got slowed down, got around the corner, accelerate early as possible, and I am going to bring this one home that time. So yeah, another, tenth and a half under gold. So not a super complicated test here. It's really just the one corner, but it's a pretty tough corner to hit right. So just make sure you're getting your braking point, especially coming into that corner. You're carrying quite a bit of speed into there, so you really got to brake earlier than you think and get that car slowed down, get it turned across the apex, so you can get a good straight shot off. Final exam. This was tough. These corners on this track, these little series of corners at Autopolis. These series of corners, for me, they're pretty tough. They're hard to get right. They're like sweeping right-hander, double left-hander, then a hairpin right-hander. For me, it was really, it's a tough corner series for me. So I struggle with it no matter what kind of car I'm in. But they give you a Toyota Supra. I think it was a Celica. Yeah, 97 Supra. A lot of body roll. This car wants to both oversteer and understeer at the same time. But the key here, and I'll save you some of the trouble, the key here in that first corner, you really need to take it a little more conservatively. I continuously, on these attempts, try to get in and carry way too much speed in that first corner. The key for me was really just to get into that corner, slow down, hit the apex, and get set up for the double left-hand corners. You really need to hit those series of left-handers and really maximize your speed going through there, because that is where you really make or break. Well, let me take that back a little bit. You're really going to make or break on this test the double left-handers, carrying your speed through these double left-handers right here. Keep your speed up, nice and smooth, but then getting into this hairpin, you need to get it slowed down. You need to get that car rotated around this corner, and it just seems like it goes forever. It takes so long for that corner to end so you can really get back in the gas. And this Toyota Supra, like I said before, it's like it wants to understeer severely, but also oversteer. So you can't get real aggressive with the throttle. You have to wait for it. But as you can see, as I keep making these attempts here, as I just run off the road right at the gate, getting way too hot into this first corner. Really, I'm trying to carry way too much speed, and that's just not the way to do it. Need to get slowed down, get the car turned, and get set up for those next left-handers. I will cut forward here. So I think it takes me like 10 tries to get this one. But you can see right there, it's like, this is a decent corner right there. But still, I'm trying to accelerate, trying to get on that throttle as early as possible, and it just wants to wash out, lose so much time. But I am chopping it down. I was a second and a half off to begin with. Now I'm just under a second off. This first corner really makes or breaks, the entire test. Again, trying to get way too much speed in there, just absolutely blowing that corner. This is where, hopefully, possibly, I show everything. I never claim to be some expert. I never claim to be a great driver. So I'm going to show everything. I'm going to show me being terrible, show you my successes and failures. Because I'm doing this, it's for fun, but I'm also, hopefully, people can learn from my mistakes. And maybe, as I get better, people can learn from my successes. As I get better, I can hopefully provide some help in some of these videos on how to be better. Yeah, see, I try to get set up for these second left-handers, and there's so much body roll. You really have to be delicate with this car. Let it get set up. You can't sling it around. Really control. Smooth and controlled this fast for this car. And I imagine too, this track, this series of corners, the right, left, right, it's not high speed. You're not, flying through here, 100 miles an hour. You're having terrible frame rate and choppiness again. But you see my speed through here. It's 60 miles an hour. I could probably be a little faster than that, but these are fairly low speed corners. You just really need to be smooth, be patient, really get the car pointed in the direction you need to go before hammering on the throttle. But you can see there, I am getting close now, just to half a tenth off. I think it still takes me a couple more tries. So I'm a slow learner, most likely. I probably could have taken traction control off. May have helped me with the understeer, but I think this one right here, I kind of learned something right here about carrying speed. It's like, oh wow, I'm really catching my ghost through here because I'm keeping it smooth. Trying to carry as much speed as possible, but be smooth and controlled. Primarily, I just failed to learn my lesson in the first corner. I just felt like I was, if I brake too early, I'm going to lose so much speed. But really, you don't, because you're going to sacrifice the exit right here and not getting set up for these double left-handers. So that was a much better corner. I got in there a little easier, got the car turned, got it set up for those double left-handers, and really carried a lot more speed. This is probably my best looking lap right there. Still not going to get the job done. Only slightly better, 4/1000ths of a second faster, but the attempt looks much better, much more in control, much smoother. And, it was just a tough lesson to learn. Like, be smooth, take your time, be patient with the car. And again, I go right back to what I was doing before, just really overcooking that corner. But I blame the car. It's not me. It's definitely the car. You can kind of miss that corner a little bit. Still getting a little too greedy. I think I get it on this one and the next one. So hang in there. Well, we're almost done. Alright, there you go. A little earlier braking. Wow, frame rate. What is... I apologize. Much better. Was able to get into these two left-handers with much more speed. I think it was over 70 miles an hour, those two. A little late getting into the hairpin on this one. But really, those first couple corners, it really helped overall time. And I got it. Finally got it done. This one was definitely a challenge for me. But, it is possible. There you go. Even I got gold. So if anybody's out there struggling to get these done, it's like, there you go. Can be done. Not impossible. So there you go. National A licenses complete, all gold. Look at that thing. Beautiful. Shiny. Let's go ahead and I think we got a couple cars to collect. Some sweet rewards. Oh yeah, give me that Scirocco that we drove earlier. One of the, I think that was, is it the Gardens? Yeah, I think it was the Gardens. Test, got the Scirocco. For finishing the National A. And then since we got all golds, we should get another car for our stellar performance in the Subaru BRZ. So yeah, little couple nice little rewards. Probably never use either one of them unless it's like a daily A race maybe. But Fraga, appreciate it, buddy. Helped a lot. But yeah, that's it. That's a National A. Hopefully somebody learned something, or at least had some fun, or at least got to make fun of me. But either way, I appreciate you stopping by and watching my videos. Until next time, thanks guys.